administrator. I was technical, and now I have a team with 6 people, and I need to know how to deal with that. I mean, I've said to you in our last conversation that I'm working in this new position as coordinator, and everything is new. When I was I was database administrator for 16 years,
Okay.
and now 4 months with this position, but it's totally different.
Okay.
When you pay a when you are technical, when you are a specialist, you think in details. How can I do this maintenance very well? And you have to execute some comments and step by step. When you are a leader, you have to be more vision, wild vision, is correct?
Mhm.
Wild vision
Mhm.
for not just for the details, but I have to pay attention in the how can I say, how can I deal with this problem, and ask it correctly to understand that problem, because I know very well database things, database
Mhm.
subjects, but I'm not used to network things, servers, just servers things, and these subjects, because now I'm a coordinator for database. I
Mhm.
know network,
Mhm.
and the system administrator is servers, just servers.
Mhm.
But I have to ask very correctly to know, to understand, but not in details, because if I pay attention just in detail, I spend a lot of time, and I have a lot of text
Mhm.
I have a lot of tasks to do. And not just that. I need to care of people. I need to think, how can I develop this employee as a supervisor or as a coordinator too?
Mhm.
How can I contribute with his career? So the book that I'm reading is about these rules. In the first chapter is awesome. Is about the open door policy, the way of the way that I am a leader. For example, I have my open door for anyone.
Mhm.
Okay, anyone can enter in my office and ask something or give me feedback or whatever, or give me a problem too.
Yeah.
But this is not so good, because when you have a door open every moment, my employees will not think, sorry, they will not have decisions. They will ask for me every month, and this is
Mhm.
not good, because you want to. It is really good when you give the decision for the employee to he take decisions,
Mhm.
because they sometimes you commit some mistakes or not. They will be very successful in that decision that he have done, he
Mhm.
have decided.
Mhm.
uh, so we have to balance. Not every moment you have the door open.
Mhm.
You have to think this way. It is the first chapter of the book.
Mhm.
I read the. I have I have reading. I have reading.
I have read.
Uh,
I have read.
I have read 2 chapters.
Okay.
The second is about the internet, cell phone. That a lot of people, a lot of employees spend a lot of time, waste a lot of time in media, social media, and these things. And the author did a test like a test. He separates some groups. One group without mobile phone. Another, okay, you can put the mobile phone on your pocket, and the other you can put on the desk.
Okay.
And the result of that, the group that didn't have the mobile phone closer in the other room, for example, they was really great in the results of this test. He did a good job. The other, in the pocket, so. And if the cell phone in the desk, the group that have the cell phone on the desk, they was really bad. So you can conclude that when you have the mobile phone, you are well think, okay, I need to know if someone send a message or whatever, I want to know something. And you spend, your mind is not so focused. And it is really important for any task, you focus your mind, your thoughts in do that thing very well. And you don't pay attention to other things if you want a good result. And the second chapter is about that, about this book. So it's a great opportunity for me to deal with that. I really like to learn English. You know me. In the past, I like to speak English, to study English.
Yes.
I didn't have opportunity to speak English. My work at that time. Now I have, and because that I want to return our class.
Exactly.
Because it's really good for me to be improving my English.
Yes, absolutely.
I like to speak English, but I really want to speak very well English one day. I know I have some mistakes. I adjust and correct these mistakes, but it's something that you said to me in the past. When more I speak, more I will be confident. I will see my mistakes and correct them. So that's it.
And this is true. The more you practice, the more you speak, the better you will get. And you're doing really well. I don't detect at any point that I didn't understand what you said. So I'm going to make sure that I understood. You have a new position now. And instead of having the really technical aspect where you focus on pretty much one thing, you did not need to interact with other people. But today, in your new position, not only do you have to have awareness and knowledge of technical things, but you are not the doer. Rather, you are the coordinator or manager of people.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons you have the open door policy. You want the people to feel as if there is something that they want to share, ask, or if they have a concern, that they can come to you. And as an open door policy says, I'm willing to listen to you. It does not mean that you will agree with them, but you are giving them the opportunity to share an opinion or a rejection or whatever it is that they feel. And it is, Alex, a different role because you have to become a master communicator. You have to be a master of understanding. One person may be a good employee, a very good employee, but they don't want to be bothered with other people, but they're very good. Then there are the other employees, they're really good at their work, but they want to ask questions all the time to make sure that it's done right. And when you tell them that it's going to be done, they're going to do it right. The next thing that I heard you talk about, there was a study. There was a study where there were 3 groups. One group had their phones in their pocket, one group had their phones on the desk, and one group had their phones in a distant place.
Yes.
The group that had their phones in a distant place were much more successful in their duties. The ones who had their phone in their pocket was the next successful, and the ones who had it on their desk that they could look at were the least successful. So the study, as I understood, reveals that those who didn't have access to their technology or their phones were much more productive. So that was the study. So it sounds like it's a good book for management. And I'm reading a book called, I'm not necessarily saying you should get this book,
Okay.
a good book, and I'm just in chapter 2. In this
Mm.
book, when companies such as the one that you're working for, maybe you have quarterly reviews, then 6 months reviews, and then at the end of the year, you hope that you've made your goals and things like that. And if you haven't made your goals, in November, you start getting really, really busy and everybody gets focused and everyone starts to work. The premise of this book is you don't have to rush at the end of the year if you start thinking that every 4 weeks is a year. Whatever you would have to do, there's always that rush. If you set your goals on January 1st, by the second week in January, you're halfway through the year because it's only a 4 week. You're operating not on a 12-month, but every 4 weeks you assess, am I where I'm supposed to be? And then you do what you normally do at the end of the year. You celebrate if you're on task, you get your bonuses, you take a vacation, you do the same thing every 4 weeks. You give the people their bonus, their congratulations, their whatever. Then you don't have to rush at the end of the year or at the end of 6 months to do anything because you've steadily done what you need to do every day. Every day has value. And I think a lot of times we don't do that. At the beginning of the year, the book talks about the resolutions that people say at the beginning of the year, I'm going to start this diet. I'm going to eat healthier. Then by March, they are 1/4 of the way into their year, and then I'm not going to do it. But if they started doing something consistently and held themselves accountable for 4 weeks, it is likely that they would get to do what they wanted to have done at the end of 12 months, and even more. So it teaches you how to be more productive. So I'm enjoying it, not so much, Alex, from the standpoint of my working with employees, but with my students. My students, they don't really realize how much time they waste doing nothing or not utilizing the time that they have available to themselves. Everyone should have 15 minutes in a day to do something. If you can't find 15 minutes a day to study English, you probably can't find 30 minutes to study English. And I'm not saying that every day, 362 days out of the year, but there should be more days in the year that you can find 15 minutes. Like one day you just like, oh, I'm just so tired. That I have on my board things that I want to do every day. And when I see it, I just go do it. And I have another board over here.
I have a lot of post-its here. I have to do this. I must do that, and I have some focus, and I have some in my wall. I have a lot of things to do. Oh, I have to do English class. I will listen something in English every day. I practice. For example, I will say something is really fun. A little fun. I will help my wife wash dish. No, not help my wife, but I will wash the dish here in my house. I put my phone and I will listen radio in English. Okay, I will take opportunity to listen something in English and doing something. My mind is receiving something in English. Exactly. Sometimes I will not pay attention. I will not pay attention 100%, but something I will learn, and I take opportunity of that.
So subconsciously, even though you're not consciously doing it, subconsciously it's doing it. When I go to bed, not every night, but many nights, I go to bed with hypnotic music on, and
Mm.
I find myself that I'm asleep, and then I wake up, and it's just like, oh, that was such a restful sleep, and then I go back to sleep again, or I may get up.
Mm.
So you are just training your mind. You're training yourself to speak English. I think that that is fantastic. That is
Yes.
great. That is what you need to
Yeah.
do.
Yes. I do that. I go to the bed and I like to listen some sermons from
Mm-hmm.
John MacArthur. John
Okay.
MacArthur, I think, yes. And I put and I go to the bed and listen. And I sometimes I slept.
Yes.
That's okay.
Right.
And I woke up. Okay, I turn off the radio, and that's
Mhm.
okay. But I mean listen in English,
Yes.
and
Yes. You're
this
listening.
is good.
That's good. That's perfect. So
Yeah.
continue to do that, and I mean, you are progressing. You
Mm.
spoke English well before. You still speak English well. What I do notice is that sometimes there's that lingering, uh, not often, but when you say something, I'll let you know when I hear you do it again. So you want to work on that. Other than that, I think that your English is good. You just continue to practice speaking and using the English, and you will do well.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, in terms of future classes, we can still read together. We can still read something, talk about what you've read. Um,
Sure.
I am going to recommend that the people that you manage, if you have not already done this, find some time to really sit down and think about what this person's personality is like. And this is going to help you when you can have the open door policy. But let's just say that I'm a person that comes to your office and I love to talk. Well,
Mm.
invite me in, but you will know my personality now. You almost need to always have something that you need to do once I come in so I don't overstay. But don't, so I won't feel bad when you tell me that I have to go, you know. And another thing that you can do if you don't already do it, if they're coming to you with a complaint, ask them how would they handle this situation, or how would they have handled this situation. It doesn't mean that you are going to agree with them, but you are
Sure.
giving them the opportunity to express what they would like to do or what they would like to see
Yes.
done. And I'm not sure how I would respond to what they say, but I really appreciate your coming in to share that with me, because you want them to feel that you hear them, that you value them, you have respect for them, but you have other employees that you value and respect as well. So just because I tell you something about another person, it doesn't mean that it's true. And the other person just isn't someone who's going to bother you with telling you various things. So management is good from the level of my managing students. Um, that's how I feel about just letting someone know that I value them. I will help them as best as I can, but I can't jeopardize my role as your manager. But I do hear you. So yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I wanted to just touch base with you. Let me stop the recording. Some things doesn't need to be recorded. Stop recording.